Yeah, don't read them, just.
We're going to call our April 14th regular meeting to order. We have a quorum. We want to look at our agenda to put it before the membership to approve. Is there any additions or changes to the agenda? If looks pleasing to you, if there would be a motion.
I make a motion to accept the agenda for tonight.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, motion's carried. Welcome, everybody, to our April regular meeting of the Blaine County School Board. Glad to see you tonight. And so at this time, I'll ask Mr. Dwayne Bailey to open us with the invocation.
Lord, we thank you for this day, God. We always thank you for your mercy and thank you for your grace and thank you for what this holiday is coming up, God, what it means. Lord, we just appreciate you for your grace. Ask you to bless this meeting, give us wisdom and knowledge. Let us make the best decisions for our county, for our teachers, for our students. And we give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. If you will stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Look at the meeting minutes from our March 10th meeting and a special meeting that was held on March 22nd. Is there any changes or any thoughts that, any improvements that need to be made or corrections or?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. We'll now look at our attendance reports from the month of March. With that, you'll notice our total enrollment at the moment is 716 students. Looks like that number, actually, we said in the last meeting, this number is actually the previous month before March, correct? Or is this actual March numbers? March, okay. So it looks like our numbers stayed the same from February. With that, you can look here and see our membership without virtual students was 634. Our out-of-district virtual students, looks like it's stayed steady at 43. Doesn't look like it has changed. Any questions? Anything else you want to add?
Yes, sir. Ms. Tate told me this evening that our March 31st count was 708. So that's really good. That's what's
That's where our ADM.
That's where our ADM comes from.
708.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
That was the 31st, you said?
Yeah, the March 31st count. Every year that's dictates how much money we're going to get
And
from our
that
ADM.
would be an increase over previous year. Previous year we had about 665 is what the report says in March, so.
It was about 615, because we don't count prepaid, prepaid isn't counted.
Okay, all right.
And then any students that we pay, just pay someone else, they're not counted in the funds.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Any questions? All right. Financial reports have been printed in front of you. You can see our revenues and our expenditures. Revenues are at 82.57% of realized revenues, and our expenditures are at 67.8%. 2%. I think there's another digit there, but got cut off maybe. So monies continue to come in, and seem to be in a good place financially at the moment. Questions? Okay.
No, sir. No questions here.
We'll now hear updates from principals. Let y'all coin toss.
Get this set up here. Afternoon, gentlemen.
Oh, sir.
Ms. Parker?
Dr. Eastep.
How are you? Hanging in there? Good. Updates from Blaine County High School, attendance and student staff wellness. Attendance report from Blaine County High School is 373 students. As of right now, we have no students in quarantine, no staff in quarantine, but we do have several students and several staff with the flu reported that it was flu. So, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather today myself. Don't think it's the flu, but my voice is a little raspy. Key events, we'll start with some extracurricular activities. The band program this past week competed in the MED Honor Band. That's a select number of kids that get chosen to go compete at George Wythe High School. Mr. Purdue was very excited about the number of kids that were selected, and they performed really well. I forget the exact honor they received, but it was up there as band standard in Blaine County continues. Miss Cole's rocket team is slated to send off the Big Bertha rockets next week. These rockets are 2 foot tall and can go 500-some feet in the air. Probably not mine. It didn't leave the launching pad last time, but those kids are excited about having fun with the rockets. Miss Cole does a great job. Miss Sexton, Miss Trail, Mr. Mead, Lenore all compete in those, so we're excited about that. Sports related, our softball team's on the road right now to Bluefield High School competing. We were able to field all levels of baseball, softball, middle school up. We weren't scheduled to produce a JV baseball team, but we had some more kids come out, which was great, and get those kids in that 8th, 9th grade level multiple times to play throughout the year, so we're excited about that. Outdoor track and girls soccer are also competing. We've got a very competitive spring group, so we're excited about that. Vocational students that attend Tazewell competed in the State Skills USA competition at Virginia Beach. That was Troy Bradshaw, Samuel Kennedy, and Josh Taylor. Samuel finished 3rd in masonry, Troy finished 4th in carpentry, and Josh finished 3rd in diesel mechanics in the state. So we're super proud of them and excited about that. And I'm sure they enjoyed their time at the beach for a weekend. Our FBLA club competed in their state competition in Washington, D.C. Miss Bailey, Julie Bailey, Eddie Woods, and Britta Harold chaperoned that group. It was a group of about 11 students that competed in the FBLA state competition in D.C. The pictures I saw, they looked like they had a blast. So we're excited they got to see that part of the country. A lot of kids don't even leave outside of these tunnels sometimes, so we're excited about that. Plans moving forward, of course, we've got testing. We're neck high in testing right now. Well, May's our hot month, but we're prepared for that. We're excited to see the numbers and the stats. We're pretty excited about it. We've got one of the top English teachers in the state in the room with us here, so we're trying to see exactly how well we'll stack up, and I'm sure it'll be really good. So we're excited. Some important dates, seniors, community members. Senior Awards Night is May 31st, and it's going to be at the high school gym. And then the next day, June 1st, will be baccalaureate, and that will be also at the gym. Ms. Weichel is, of course, headlining that and making sure that runs smoothly. The Golden Ticket Night, graduation practice is June 2nd, and then followed by graduation June 3rd, which is a Friday night, 7 o'clock here at the football field. Of course, if we have rain or any kind of other weather conditions, it will be moved to the gym, and we've got a plan for that transition if that were to occur. Junior and senior prom is next weekend, the 23rd at Fincastle, over there in Bluefield. Miss Trail and Miss Julie Bailey, they've been instrumental in making sure that our kids have a wonderful prom. And our after prom will be here at the high school, immediately following the prom. Our prom committee was selected by the, make sure I get this right. Excuse me. The Youth of Virginia Speak Out About Traffic Safety organization, and they gave us a $1,000 grant towards after prom festivities and making sure our kids are safe. And Miss Debbie Nolly and Rebecca Boone are kind of headlining that and making sure we follow the grant guidelines, which was really cool. We were 1 out of 7 schools in Virginia that were selected, so that's pretty neat. Help from the board. Want to thank you for allowing us to get some funding for the athletic trainer. Miss Smith has been wonderful, just making sure our events are safe for home and away students or student athletes. We hope that can continue. She's been absolutely great. Curly's extremely appreciative. He's tired of taping ankles. But thank you for that. As the renovation plans come with the high school, I know things are still in development, but if we can get the quickest possible plan for our teachers, especially in Building B, I think that's where we're going to begin, what they need to do for their rooms. I know the further we get into the year, the more plans are going to be needed for after school, after June 10th, and they'd like a little bit of a plan on what they need to move so they can go ahead and get that process started for their rooms. If you've ever been in some of those rooms, there's a lot of stuff. So if we could get a little heads up on what that's going to look like, that'd be great. And lastly, if we can help secure an athletic director for our athletics program, that would be instrumental and appreciated. Any questions from you?
What did you say the prom was?
April 23rd
April 23rd.
at Fincastle.
I wrote down April, but I said maybe they mean May, but that's what I was asking. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Quick question
Sure.
I had several parents ask me about, and I know maybe Mr. Meads asked, but I haven't heard a response just yet. I know we were talking about possibly moving sporting competition districts and so forth. Where does that stand?
Right now, we're in a stalemate. The Pioneer District has kind of tabled that. What it's looking like is James River, a previous 2A school, I think up in Botetourt area, is coming down to 1A, and I think they're waiting to see if they're wanting in. So what we're doing is planning to stay where we're at. We're going to apply for another 2-year independent football schedule, which we're on the second of 2-year schedule right now. We've got a full football schedule slated for next year. If we were to move, that's an easy fix because we'd pick up 8 district opponents, and our schedule's basically set minus 2 games. So that's not if it were to happen, that's not a tremendous move that we'd
I think some concern has arisen out of the community regarding gas prices as well as, us as a board looking at it, of sending teams, 2 and 3 hours away. And I don't know necessarily what direction you need from the board, but I would say from my position, I'd say not to pursue it any further. Stay where we're at in the interim unless something other else major changes.
Well, I think we need to talk about it. If the board has any say, I think we need to talk about it as a board rather than just you, that's not, they need, that's their job is to make the recommendations.
Sure, absolutely. And I'm not saying just do it off mine. I'm saying, as a board, it's something other, we've already talked about and discussed a little bit at length. But to Tyler's point, to make sure that he knows kind of the direction we would want to pursue in the future. And particularly in the interim, I mean, if this school doesn't change, maybe they would want us, but then again, at the same time, my fear is not a lot of parents are going to drive that far, and also coaches and so forth, so something other to be mindful of.
Well, I think the most important thing is that we're competitive. We want to play schools that we're competitive with, and
That was the whole basis
was
of
the
trying to
purpose.
move is we're in a district now that the schools are with 9 through 12, and correct me if I'm wrong, their enrollments are probably 100 to 150 more students.
We're in the SEC of football,
Yeah.
and just put it that way. The whole reason, the whole mindset behind it is we want to compete for a district championship every year. And it's
And it's not just
possible.
about football,
I'm
it's
not saying it's
basketball,
impossible.
it's all the sports.
All
It's gotta be-
sports. But if we can collectively as a school compete for a district championship every year, I think it will grow, hopefully in a positive direction. I understand there's pros and cons to each side, but, you know, I've coached and played, and the MED is very, very competitive, which we're not running from competition. We just want our students to have a fair playing field, and right now it's not.
So are we still in the SEC with all the other sports as well, as
Yes.
far as our standings?
Everything. We're in the Mountain Empire District, which top to bottom is one of the most competitive single A districts in Virginia, if not the most.
You've got a lot of AA schools that's dropped down, you know, you think Grand.
Radford's coming.
Right, and Radford is.
Yeah,
Really?
sure.
So, in the big picture, just my opinion, the VHSL needs to look at more rural counties, you know.
It's,
It could easily, well, I don't want to say easily, because I'm not in their position, but it looks pretty easy to do.
I
with
understand
some of our
Graham's
schools.
close to coming to 1A too. So,
And Graham, yes, sir.
so it's time for VHSL to take a strong look at that. Should be another,
It was that way at one time. The original, when they did the redistricting and reclassification, to me, it was fair. I was involved in it then. It was fair then because it was just the smaller schools. And since that time, just about everybody in Mountain Empire has come back down.
Well, I think
Bradford's came down, went back up. It's been you know.
I think
and
the
it's where
cutoff's
they
like
could-
475.
Sure.
They've changed the number yearly.
But that's 9 through 12, see?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
if you look at our 9 through 12, do we
We're
have
solid
200?
1A. We're not going
200?
anywhere.
Yeah, that initial one did give us a level playing field. There was no doubt about it. Because when you got to the VHSL tournaments, the cutoff was maybe, I don't remember, Tyler, what do you think, 300 or something? There was something
roughly.
that made all those others go to the 2A. And we heard all that. We heard about all that too, but yeah.
Thank you.
Success does breed
What
success,
time was
though.
the senior awards and baccalaureate?
I'd have to double check. I should have wrote that down. I'm wanting to say 6 o'clock, but I will send out a remind and also an email about that. I should have brought that with me. Sorry about
You know, I think they did the baccalaureate last year a little in the evening or midday,
that.
wasn't
And
it?
we did it at the football field.
Yeah.
This year it'll be indoors. Both the award ceremony and baccalaureate.
Just let us know
Sure,
when those are, so we can attend.
we can do that. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I'll go this way, make sure I have enough. Most colorful part of the meeting.
Yes, sir.
I know, I look forward to it.
All right.
Just-
Well, good evening, Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Mead. Greetings from Bland Elementary. Current enrollment with pre-K stands at 353, which was 2 over where we were last month. Attendance trends currently have no students, faculty out with COVID-related absences, which is phenomenal to hear. Flu A and B are definitely rearing their ugly head, but we have been powering through and maintaining the same safety practices that we had in place that were available then, while masks are optional. Certainly there are more people in the last 2 weeks have taken advantage of that option to put those back on. I've seen some pretty sick kids going home in those couple days there, but I think we're coming out of that, hopefully. We currently have 15 students in the Region 7, Virtual Academy. Key events that have taken place recently and those coming up. We've taken care of our 4 pre-K and kindergarten registration screening dates of those, and so we did those over a course of 4 Mondays last month. We had 14 potential preschool students screened, which is more than we could even hold in our program. So that's actually great news, and we'll be able to refer any of those that won't be able to work in our program into other programs across the county. 36 potential kindergartners were actually registered. We expect numbers to be as high as 45. To get 2/3 of them is phenomenal. So that was great to see that many families show up to go through screenings with us. After-school programs, we've got them all going right now. Jams on Monday, after-school STEM on Tuesday and Thursday, Bible Club on Wednesdays, and robotics on Wednesdays as well. So the only free day in the building is probably Friday, and there's always somebody tutoring on a Friday afternoon anyway. You'll pretty much find that going on 5 days a week. Our spring concert is set up for Monday, April 25th at 6:30 p.m. That's April 25th, 6:30 p.m. in the main gym. Jams will actually work with us, and they'll be ending about an hour earlier that evening. And then we'll have everything set up, ready to go down there. The students are pretty excited. Mr. Altizer's excited, and you can't really put too much more energy into that man without hurting somebody, so.
It becomes dangerous.
He's excited to get through that as well, too. That'll actually be about a week or two right before we start SOL testing, so at least they'll stop singing Christmas songs. I mean, he would never sing Christmas songs in April. But no, he, kind of get him to quiet down a little bit and go that way. Plans and strategies moving forward. It's that time of year. We're thinking full-on SOLs at this point, getting remediation in place, tutoring's full go. We've been doing that for just over a month now. And let's see, SOL testing window will actually officially begin for BCES on Monday, May 9th. And we have a full 10 days plus then retakes and some absentee students after that date. And then we're planning our end of year awards assemblies and promotion ceremonies as well. We don't have dates set in stone for those, but they're most definitely within the last 2 weeks of school in June. When we're trying to keep everyone as active and participating as much as possible. Those will be some challenging days, but we're getting ready for those. And kind of go from there. Not too much else. Couple things that we could use support on. I could just say maintenance and custodial, but I think that's not gonna beat that horse. The flashing zone lights out front. If it's not flashing, I'm gonna bring it up. And then rekeying of the building as well too. We actually got the gates up already because I don't necessarily need anyone in the building this weekend when we don't have as much supervision going on. So that's kind of where we are. Any questions at this point?
Are the lights still flashing?
One side typically does. The westbound side, never. Eastbound side coming up out of the town of Bland, depending on the weather.
Okay.
So. That's it. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir.
All right, Ms. Tate,
Is she here?
she's here tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Your name's Tate all this time? I thought, gosh.
Just a few things, as Mr. Mead said. I finished the spring student record collection for the March ADM. It was at 708, which doesn't include your pre-K or any students that we pay, that an outside source pays tuition for. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yep.
I went through every student to make sure every student was counted, so.
Check it twice, 3 times, 4 times.
Yeah, I wanted to. I received an email this week that we have completed the writing SOL. That administration was done last Friday. I received an email, I think it was Tuesday, that all the equating for all of the tests were completed, because I kept wondering where our 8th grade scores were at. They weren't coming in, and the tests were being equated, but they all came in. They're not too bad, but we've got some substitute tests that I'm waiting on to get those percentages in there with the writing test, and we're still going to test some more students with the substitute writing test before all those scores are all together and all that. So I was just glad the scores came in, because I was getting worried. I thought, oh, I'd done something wrong. Something's not working the way it's supposed to. Mike and Jonathan have been busy this month. At the high school, since we last met, there were 20 tickets put in for Chromebooks, printers, whatever. The majority of them are Chromebooks. And at the elementary, there were 16 tickets that came in since they stay on top of those. The kids do not go without a Chromebook unless they're getting trouble and they get taken away.
Second grade.
Second grade.
Second grade.
Watch out for them second graders.
But they stay on top of it. We've had some issues with the content filtering system. It wants to block everything one day. The next day, it wants to open everything up. So we've been working with that, working with the company that I contract with to help us keep it up and going. We have to. So Jonathan's been working with Xerox. I think that's going to become his next full-time job after Chromebooks because the printers at the high school are always down, the copiers. But he stays on top of them and they get repaired, so.
That's what the printer and copier companies want, you know, they like.
That's why they're the contrariest piece of equipment you got, technology, is a printer, copier, whatever.
It is.
The locks at the high school on the doors, I probably shouldn't say anything, but they've been working for the last month. So I probably better knock on wood. We haven't had to do much with those. Jonathan stays on top of those as well. Mike is looking at, we're looking at replacing the cameras. They've been there long enough that we're looking at the grant, the security grant, that hopefully we'll get the SOOPS memo next month and the application and all that. We're working with Advanced Network Systems, helping us get a quote and all that, so we can start applying for that grant and get them replaced. Maybe not so much the cameras as the software. But Mike is working on that for both schools, so hopefully by next year, school year, we can start replacing some of those cameras, because that
Those are the
grant,
security cameras. Yeah.
we're adding, I think Mike told me the other day that when he was talking to him, I think we're adding 6 more to the outside. A couple of them will project more out towards the parking lot and
That's
then
good.
give a better view of the parking lot. But we're just waiting for VDOE to send us so we can start the grant process and get that turned in and see if we can qualify for those funds out there. But that's pretty much it for technology. Any questions? All right, thank you.
What you're doing.
Thank you.
Ms. Radford.
So I don't have updates for you all, but I do have some action items tonight, so if it's okay, I'll just wait and talk then.
Yes, ma'am. Superintendent, Mr. Mead.
Okay, what, Mr. French is very much under the weather, and he's not going to be, he's been out this week, so he sent me, and if you don't mind, I don't want to bore you, but this is the things he's been working on. And he's done a really good job in the short period of time he's been here. Cleanliness at the schools is about the same as it's been. I have met with one company on the deep cleaning of the schools, and I've received a quote from them. Mr. Mead met with another company yesterday while I was out, and we are looking forward to receive a quote from them also. Before I came in here, I got a text message that Charity has finished that quote, but she didn't send it to me. She wants me to call her and discuss it. And for you all that was here, she was once a teacher at the high school. And she opened her own business and is really doing well. So hopefully she can help us out. The cleaning supplies for the schools, upon research on pricing, the company we receive our paper products from now is the cheapest on purchasing our cleaning chemicals and et cetera. The custodial needs until we have them to put out for a new RFP. I have all paperwork, custodial cleaning check sheets, maintenance daily reports, cleaning and maintenance inspection sheets, weekly, monthly, biannual sheets, etc., printed and ready to implement at the end of our transition. The floor scrubbing machines for the schools is an absolute mandatory to have. I have priced new units at $3,288.95, a unit for a total of $6,577.90 for 2 units. Our previous folks have offered to sell us their machines, but they haven't given me a price on that. The barred unit RFPs, we are needing an RFP extension of 3 weeks on this project in order to receive a more complete and accurate pricing point due to supply and demand. I have done a walkthrough with several companies, and they have all stated the same on the extension. The mowing needs are depending on the transition period. If so, we need to contact all parties that are entered a bid on this and give them a couple days to re-enter new bid with an earlier starting date. I can contact all parties Friday and give them till Wednesday at 12 o'clock to have the new sealed quotes in. We have no maintenance personnel at the school at this time. Our maintenance tools needed to perform duties, the bare minimum to operate is around $2,800 for tools. For all tools needed except for the pressure washer and et cetera, which is around $4,800 for all. He's done this through Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
The beacon lights on the ABB side of the elementary school will work for a couple hours to a whole day, and then they overload and blow the contacts. I have an electrician that works for the state of Virginia coming next week to fix this occurring problem with the signs. Keep your fingers crossed on that. The gymnasium lights at the high school, I was going to try and get the correctional center to help us with this, but they are covered up on the football field area and other community projects. We would like to thank the Bland Correctional Center for everything they're doing for us in our community. I have received another quote on this project. Both quotes are within $15 of each other, with just a few different options for each, but we are still looking at around $7,500 for this project.
That's for the lights for the gym, right?
Right. I'm working with Mr. Andrews and AEP. They are going to help us setting the new poles at the football field. The equipment and labor will be free to us. We would only have to purchase the poles, and they'll be between $500 and $600.
Thank you, sir.
The correctional center is making good progress. The field house, it really looks good. Everything's finished there except the flooring. The flooring comes at a price around $4,985, and it's a 3/8-inch thick rubber interlocking flooring. Mr. Kevin Polly received a quote on the gym floor at the high school to sand the entire floor, restain, repaint, game lines, lettering, and new polyurethane at $19,275. The second quote to sand, screen the entire floor and apply only one application of urethane is $2,450. But if we go by the First Sentinel stated that they would put $10,000 into this project with, as long as we give them a logo on the floor, leaving about $9,275 to pay out.
So one was 19,000. How many coats was that?
That was to sand, restain, and repaint.
Okay.
And the other quote, I think, is just for going in there and
Oh, just-
just
okay.
redoing
Probably
it.
just touching it up in
Right.
one coat, one or two coats.
We do that every year anyway.
Right. Okay.
Mr. Andrews has received a quote to replace and rewire the generators for both schools. This quote also includes an $800 service contract. The total for both schools with service contract is $123,920. That's from Mr. French. Keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He and his wife both are really sick right now.
On the First Sentinel logo, we can do that. There's not an issue with that.
We'd have to check with attorneys, but I've seen it at other schools.
So,
You know, Coke, Pepsi, and you see them on scoreboards all the time, so.
can we get some more? Can we go ahead and cover every?
What is one of your quotes? You'll never get it if you don't ask.
That's exactly
Yep,
right.
that's
So
exactly
that might be something we might want to ask them.
Local
Signs.
businesses.
Rest, and I'll be brief with the rest of my stuff, but I want to make sure everybody knew that we did not plan to not have school today. It just came all of a sudden. We had some major maintenance issues that happened to the schools. And the elementary school, they needed cleaning, and hopefully that some of that happened today. And the high school has a major sewage issue. And so they wasn't going to be able to use bathrooms and things like that. So it was nothing we could do. I think I've been accused of keeping that in my back pocket and springing it on everybody, but that's not what happened. We should have been in school today. I would like, in a school board office here, we have the same requirements and reporting as Northern Virginia schools. We have very few people to do that. Laura, myself, Beth, Cindy, Lenore, I mean, all of us pitch in for reporting. But if we didn't have Ms. Tate, I don't know what we would do. And I want you, as I'm riding out into the sunlight and with my cowboy hat and my mule, remember, you need to always think about the reporting that she does, because it's very important. So I want to give her a shout out. So there's your shout out.
Thank you.
Apologize for my phone going off, but it was my dear friend Curly. And he was reporting to me to say that Mackey just hit a grand slam against Bluefield. So shout out to our softball team, and shout out to all the kids down there playing spring sport. It's refreshing. If you ever get a chance to just walk over here and you see our kids running, Carrie Romano and all these kids and Laura, and then you come up and you see the soccer with Joe, and then you come on up and there's somebody in the batting cage always, and the softball are playing, and the parents are there, and you flip over to the baseball side, and you see there's a lot of our kids involved in spring sports, and a lot of our parents are involved too. So it's really a nice time, refreshing time for people to see each other and eat some of that nice homemade chili that they put on the hot dogs too, if you can beat Curly to the concession stand. The vans that we've purchased in the past have really been wonderful for us. We've saved a lot of money. Most of our spring sports travel in the vans. And if they weren't for the vans, they'd be using school buses. Right. And with the cost of fuel, you can imagine what that'd be costing us right now. We've used them so much. We hadn't had them that long. We're already getting ready to order a set of tires for them. So they're being used, and I think it's been really good. We keep two at the high school, and there's one at the elementary school that actually does a route because of the bridges. We can't cross some of the bridges now with the buses.
So we do have three
We
total
have three.
vans.
And I tell you, I think you ask these principals, we probably could use a couple more. They have saved us a lot of money. It's the final push. Our teachers are stressing right now. Keep them in mind. They do an excellent job. We have some of the best teachers in the state and some of the best kids and staff members, and it's SOL time, so the stress levels are very high. If you see them, the teachers pat them on the back and tell them they do a good job for us, because they're under a lot of stress right now. Fishing day for the children is moved, I think, to April 30th at the Gap. I think it was scheduled for earlier, but that weekend was awful as far as weather, if you remember. Yeah. The creeks were up, it was really cold, so I think they moved that to April 30th. No news on the state budget. Nothing's been accomplished. As soon as I hear something, I'll let you know. I don't know what else we can do except maybe contact our representatives and tell them we need a budget. We need to decide what we're going to do. We have to plan for next school year. And you would think that after having the past 2 years the way we are, this would be time to pass that budget and get us ready for a positive school year next year. So I haven't heard anything. And last thing is, this is a beautiful time of year. Happy Easter to all of you. Enjoy your families. I get my little precious granddaughter this weekend. She's 4 months, going on 18. She's wanting so bad to talk. She just makes these little noises. She opens up, and makes these little noises. It's very cute. But that's all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Student Representative, Ms. Myers here with us this evening.
Sorry for being late.
It's all right. You're here. That's the big thing.
Better late than never.
Yep.
You come in quietly also.
I try not to make any noise. Unfortunately, Anthony cannot be here tonight. He's sick. So I will be speaking for the both of us. The soccer team has played against Marion, Tazewell, Giles, Auburn, Galax, George Wythe, and Bath so far, and they have won against Bath County and Galax. I know that baseball and softball are also playing. I just haven't been able, I didn't go to school this week, so I wasn't able to get any more information about that. The beta blood drive was a huge success. There were 20 people who signed up to donate in advance, and there were at least 50 people who wanted to donate blood, but unfortunately 10 people had to be turned away due to lack of time. Those 10 people will be pushed to the front of the line in our next blood drive, which will hopefully be in the fall. Overall, we were able to collect 40 viable blood donations. We were also able to participate in the virtual Virginia Beta Convention this year. Our school competed against 33 different high schools in Virginia, and 17 of our BCHS students received an award or worked with a group that placed at a state level. We had four first place winners: Caitlin Harrison in sculpture, Davis Kegley in 12th grade social studies, Rachel Penley in 12th grade agri-science, and Chance James in Division II color photography. Our 5 individual second place winners are Jasmine Hodge in mixed media, Caitlin Hall in drawing, Maddie Stoltz in 9th grade science, Jacob Myers in woodworking, and Zoe Clemens in recyclable art. Our 3 club/team second place winners are Bridget Potter in Service Learning Showcase, Jasmine Hodge and Nate Nolly in 3-dimensional design, Caitlin Hall, Samantha Crew, and Ben Ratliff in technology. Our 2 third place winners are Connor Grady in 9th grade English and Isabella Atwell in 9th grade math. And finally, our 3rd place team competition winners was in a written quiz bowl led by Anthony Bright and Rye Williams. Anyone who won is eligible to compete in the National Beta Convention in Tennessee this year, and we encourage that they all go do that. And then we've had several field trips occur. I don't have much of the specifics on these. Like I said, I wasn't here this week, so, but I know that some of the seniors went to go see something interesting that me and Anthony have received is the VSBA is holding an essay/speaking contest, and the top 3 finalists will present their essays at the VSBA conference and will get $1,000 of scholarship money. This contest is open to all Virginia high school students. The topic for this year's essay is food security. Me and Anthony have more information regarding the submission process and due dates if anyone is interested in that. I plan on informing the English teachers about it this next week so we can let the students know about this opportunity, because it's not just open to like student representatives, it's for every student. Me and Anthony have also been thinking of ways that we can communicate with other students to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. So far, we have come up with sending out a Google form the Monday or Tuesday before a school board meeting. That will be completely anonymous. If wanted, they can give us their name if they want. And this will allow students to let us know of anything, like any grievances or something that they want us to bring up to the school board. Because I know whenever I was in 7th or 8th grade, going up to a upperclassman was just scary to me. So I think that this will open up a better communication for all of us. We would still like to talk to them personally, like one-on-one, but technically 2-on-1, I guess. But we know that like schedules and everything, just hectic. So, and finally, I'm gonna end with band. So we had the Mountain Empire Honor Band, which is comprised of, I want to say, 6 schools in our district, and 20 of our students were chosen to participate in this honor band, and I was able to go, and it was so fun. We were able to get to know like a new way of learning music, and we met new friends, and it was just a really positive learning experience for all of us. And finally, the band has been working on our spring concert music, and we would like to formally invite Mr. Mead to play Timmy the Rainstick again.
Oh, wow.
You make sure you give me a date and a time, and I will be there.
All right, we don't have a set time yet, but I will let you know as soon as we figure that out.
When can I practice?
I will also give you the dates for practices.
Okay.
He'll need that.
He'll need lots
Yeah.
of that. Many.
I'm awesome, man.
We're having, our theme for this year is Night at the Movies, and I think the piece that we're wanting to have you play in is the Disney movie Moana.
Oh.
So, yeah, it'll be fun. We're excited. So we were just talking about like how we needed someone to play Timmy, and we were like, I know somebody who can do that. So, formal invitation.
We've got an applicant.
And that's all I have. Me and Anthony kind of combined our things without realizing it, so.
Thank you all. We
Thank you much.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you.
Do a good job. Proud of you all. School board updates. Start with Mr. Agee.
I guess for my area, we're working on we have to wait till we get our state budget and everything like that, as far as we're working on our teacher, or our sub pay and everything like that is what we're trying to do for that. We've got a few projects, I guess, in the works, as far as our renovations and everything, so those are coming down from that. We had our joint meeting with our board of supervisors and everything. So they done some cost analysis and everything like that for us. So hopefully we can get in a little more in-depth conversation with them next time at our meeting to kind of work on some things, particulars and everything. Just want to thank all the teachers and stuff for everything that they do for our kids in our school system, elementary, high school, and all the ones who help facilitate on a day in, day out basis here in our central office and stuff. So went through yesterday with the elementary, talked to them and kind of helped clean up a few things with them and stuff yesterday. So the ones I got to talk to, it was great to interact with them and stuff. And then I'm going to do the same with the high school here probably next week. So again, I just want to thank everybody for what they're doing. I want to thank our kids for putting forth effort and showing pride in their schools.
Mr. Andrews.
Just a fefew things, and I'll piggyback on Mr. Agee. Thanks to the students. Congratulations, Paige, on your awards. I'm kind of amazed at the different activities and the level of student involvement that there is from sports on through everything. So that's good. That's what we need is involvement, for sure. The cleaning part, that's an ongoing saga. Please urge patience. I appreciate the work Mr. Mead, Mr. French, and anybody else is doing to get that situation cleared up. It is not a simple fix to do that, but we appreciate the efforts. I do. I appreciate the efforts there. Teachers, for sure, appreciate your work, continuing work each day. It goes unnoticed, but a lot, and I personally appreciate it. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Bailey.
Piggyback off of what everybody else said, just the level of activities, the students, everything that we have going on, especially spring, just seems like it's a super busy time, but I appreciate the efforts of the principals, Dr. Estep with playing AD and principal and all the things that he's had to do, the teachers, all the staff, the central office. Mr. Mead, he has to wear lots of hats. He's had to wear a couple different hats this week. It's been Honey Dipper and had to do a lot of different things, so we appreciate his efforts. He stays busy with it, but we appreciate everybody. We appreciate everything that everybody does, and just proud of our schools and the people we have working for us. So.
Is that all?
That's it, yeah.
Let board members know, I don't know if you noticed it today, I saw in the paper that the Board of Supervisors is going to hold a public hearing in the next month about school zone safety. And I I think they're gonna be looking at, speeds and camera systems and so forth. So I encourage you to, if you're gonna go, let us know. But it'd be a great thing, I think, for at least a couple of us to show up and just voice that, these school zones are something that we take pride in. And we could definitely, if there's any money out there that they wanna dip in to maybe provide some new flashing lights, wouldn't hurt us at all.
Do you have a date for that, sir?
I do not, like I said,
But it is in May.
It's in this.
It's in this week's paper.
In this week's paper, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You ought to know. No.
It's in the, next to the last page, down in the right corner, for those that don't know.
Yep. We did have a joint meeting with the Board of Supervisors. In that joint meeting, they gave us financial analysis of the county. We're very appreciative of the Board of Supervisors for inviting us and really just kind of getting the dialogue started. And we look forward to another meeting once the state budget comes out. We hope to have another meeting with them and be more open about our plans for the future and look forward to, just having a greater dialogue together. And it was a good opportunity to learn and as well to hear from them some of their viewpoints. Last thing I have wrote down here to share is amongst all the negative things that's printed, that's shared, that's liked, that's commented on about the school system, about the kids, about teachers, about what all and what is happening and what isn't happening, we've got so much to be proud of. We have a lot to be proud of as to what's been shared here tonight, and a lot of it, a lot of things that's happened, hasn't even been shared. And so I want to encourage people in this next season, as you see things, share the good things. Share the things that's exciting. Whether it's just about your kid, that's fine. I want to celebrate you. Whether your kid got 100 or extra credit, or whether your kid hit that grand slam, or whether it was the first time we beat Gay Lax. Yeah, feels good. Whatever it is, we have so much to be proud of here in Blaine County, and this is a unique opportunity. And I count myself privileged to sit on this board with these members and with Mr. Mead as well, and a whole host of faculty and staff that take pride in doing great work, making sure our kids just not receive an education, but they receive love, and maybe they need a snack or something other, and the difference that they're able to make. So a lot to be proud of tonight amongst all the negative. Let's be proud of Blaine County Public Schools and our kids, and let's write about it. Let's write about it. I guess it's about that place in our time for public comment. Do we have any tonight?
Yes, Miss Tiffany Carter.
All right, Miss Carter, come forth.
Wow, that sounds very foreboding.
And you shall be heard.
All right. Yes, go.
Greetings, gentlemen. I'm here tonight on behalf of my elementary colleagues and myself to ask you again to consider hiring another elementary teacher. The need for another classroom teacher at Bland Elementary is paramount. The pandemic has changed everything I knew and have experienced about teaching. I have found myself in numerous events that I would label the first of its kind in my 20 years. The pandemic robbed all our children, not just in our county but everywhere, of at least 5 months of school and some many more. What they missed during that time is insurmountable. The gaps are tremendous, and they are not simply present in learning or knowledge. These gaps are emotional, social, and behavioral. My colleagues and I are tackling so much more than overcoming learning deficits. Not hiring an additional grade level teacher would be a tremendous hardship for our students, so many of which who are already facing a litany of needs. But the effect that an increased class size would have on teachers at this time is disheartening and an enormous disservice. Processes and methods that worked or may have appeared to work years ago will not work now. We are educating in a time that is anything but standard, yet we are still working with the standards of before. Our greatest responsibility is our students. Allow me to further illustrate this need with a simile. The situation teachers are facing right now is like trying to repair a bridge with massive holes while it's still in use. You cannot repair the bridge with less staff while the weight on the bridge increases with the need of those trying to cross it. This is the visual I've had of myself numerous times this year. I am desperately trying to keep my students with the greatest needs from falling off the edge of this bridge. Yet behind me, calling my name, needing my attention, seeking my care, are the students whose home life was not conducive for virtual learning, who were traversing the bridge was conducive, for virtual learning. They're traversing that bridge fairly well without me, but what am I doing for them? I'm quickly guiding them on across the bridge with a sideways glance or a pat on the back and a strained smile, because I know they can make it. But the others, if I take my eyes, my thoughts off them, or if I dare let go of them for the briefest of seconds, they will fall. That bridge is collapsing. Please don't make the work to repair it harder, and please consider hiring another classroom teacher. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ms. Harless, is there any other public comment for tonight? All right. We want to encourage the public. You have thoughts. This is an opportunity for you to be able to come and share those thoughts in our monthly meeting. So with that, we'll now go over to our action agenda. Members in front of you, there's one thing I did not go over during our financial reports. And I believe this is our current year budget. Looks like this.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember a little bit about this. Mr. Meade, maybe you can help me because Miss Cindy hasn't provided this to us maybe in a little while.
Yeah,
It's a little bit different look.
It's her forecast.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's something you can look at. The one on the maintenance is one that might jump out at you. But I think that's because there's not been some monies transferred from different pots, COVIDs, and those kind of
Right.
things. But I think it looks pretty good, really.
So the very last column is what you want to look at, is what she's projecting to end up for
Yeah.
the year. So we want to be 100% or under,
So
Yes,
that's
generally.
Yeah, we want to be under 100%.
Yeah,
And you gotta think if you go back to what we talked about earlier, we're still like only 87% of revenues in. So,
right.
Yeah.
we still gotta look at the forest money should come up soon.
The health services is at 127%.
And this
But
right
that's
here is-
probably got some COVID monies possibly tied into it.
Let's see there.
The transportation's is 115%.
And whatever questions you have for her, you can shoot her an email, but she's celebrating the birth of her second grandchild.
Okay.
It was yesterday, right?
Oh, wow. That's a time to celebrate. All right. That gives us information on that. Sorry, I skipped over that. Didn't mean to, but give you that information. Does anybody have any other questions about that at the moment?
No, sir, not the moment.
Okay. So we'll move on to look at approving payments. Let's make sure we just have one here. I believe there's
There's two, I think.
one check run and a electronic transfer, no, two check runs here.
Yeah, there's two check runs.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'd like to hold one out on that second page, the longer page.
Do you have a check number maybe?
Yes, I do, 66145,
66145, let's go to that one.
center.
Okay,
I'd like to hold that one out.
You said 66125?
145.
145.
Middle of the
Yeah,
page.
okay. Okay, I got it.
let's see here, what was that for?
Hold on, just, let me see what, so I can kind of see what that's for.
Is there a particular reason on that one? That was for some dumpster rental.
Yeah, I remember seeing dumpster rentals. Yeah.
Let me get to that.
Yeah, because I would like to hold out until we get a list of some other invoices that's due.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else have any other
If everybody, that's
Questions?
just mine. If it's a vote, so if you guys want to pay it, we can. But that's just me.
Well,
I'm just one.
You're welcome to make a motion.
No, right.
I don't have any other questions here on these.
Everything else I'm good with.
Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the payments except for checks. Excuse me, I've got the wrong glasses, so I'm struggling to see here. 66145.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll second that motion until we can, with the ongoing situation, let's make sure we got all that in order before
Okay.
that's paid, so.
There's been a second made. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. All right. O&M projects, I know that Mr. French has given us a long list of things that we need to do. And,
His tools and stuff, the things that he needs for his tools, he needs to
Yeah.
go get them. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
he says they're $2,800. I'd say go get what he needs.
yeah, he
Get what
needs to start, when he gets the time, and he's out, when he gets better, when he gets back in here, he's inundated with things. He needs to start putting the team together, putting things he needs together, so.
He's gonna contact these people on our mowing. He's gonna go ahead and reach out to them, tell them, send their bids back in, so we can
Right.
get some grass cut.
That's what he said.
All right.
Okay. Do we need you don't need a board action in order to do that? Y'all are good to go ahead and reissue those RFPs and that way y'all can reevaluate there.
I can tell you after today, I had in-depth conversation with R&R Septic Services, and they ran a camera through the drain and found that we have some broken pipe. I mean, it's working right now, but the pipe is gonna have to be replaced.
Where's it at?
It's, as you come out, you know where the boys' locker room is? That little side door. If you step out there, if you go about 20 feet, that's where the septic system is. It would be that pipe that's coming out of that locker room that dumps into there.
Is it accessible? I mean, what do you have to go through to get to it?
You could dig it up pretty easily, I think.
Okay.
It's just.
Is it ground or is it concrete?
No, it's in the ground.
Okay.
Where it's broke is right there in the ground.
Okay, but I mean, you don't have to go through anything.
No,
other than
you
just-
shouldn't.
Okay, good.
No, From what I saw on the camera, it shouldn't.
Minimal sidewalk right there, coming out that door, there's sidewalk right there, but that's.
He said it's just
minimal.
old, it's cracked and stuff, and that's causing some of the problem there, so.
That's something that they need, we just need to get fixed. I don't.
Yeah, I think you just get it fixed.
When RD gets back next week, I'll take him out there and show him everything, and he can start on it.
The unfortunate thing is we're dealing with older buildings, and like any other project, you start digging and you get into it, and it's like any other situation, you're just gonna find more. There's just gonna be more stuff that's gonna have to be fixed.
It's like home renovations.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what you're gonna totally get into. You think you're just gonna replace some drywall, and bam, you get into replacing studs and all kinds of other stuff.
Cracking old water pipes.
Yeah,
Dumping
I
off.
didn't mean to cut that. Do we need, are you guys good to, for the extension of the 3 weeks on the RFP for the barred units, electrical work and so
Yeah,
forth?
I don't think we have any choice, and they're all telling us the same story, so.
Okay, very good. All right. I don't know of any other action items that we have on the O&M projects at the moment. Board members, anyone else? Okay. All right, in front of you now have the 2022-2023 proposed school calendar draft. Ms. Tate, do you want to speak to this?
The committee met, actually met twice. Laura helped us with it. We talked a lot about this. We're good with it. The teachers, I sent it out. Angel was on the committee. Stephanie was on the committee. Melissa was on the committee. I had Debbie Blessing, Katie Bright, Lisa Harmon, Kimberly Harmon. I had a whole crew. I tried to get someone from every classroom teacher, special teachers,
board members, questions?
No, I'll make a motion to approve the calendar for 2022 and 2023.
Is there a second?
Second motion to approve calendar.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried.
Thank you, Ms. Tate, for that work.
Yep.
Yes,
That's what I
thank
was
you all.
gonna ask, the involvement of whom. I appreciate that information, so that's good. Thank you.
Ms. Radford, you have an action item here, I believe, 2 action items. Special Education Annual Plan, and I'll let you go ahead and speak to Vector Solutions purchase as well, if you don't mind.
You have a copy of this on board docs, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you a printout just to make it easier
Thank you, Grandma.
to look at.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
This is our annual plan for special education for next year. I just need your approval on it before I submit it to DOE. Basically, what you would want to look at the most, if you look on page 12 and 13, this is the breakdown of our budget for next year. On page 12, in that top box, it breaks it down for you. A percentage goes towards my salary, a percentage towards clerical, and then the majority of the budget goes to pay for the salaries for our 9 paraprofessionals that we have that support students. Page 16 breaks it down for you there, personnel, how much we're spending on personnel, and then just a little bit that we put in materials and supplies. And then if you flip to page 15, this is our early childhood special education. So this is our preschool funds that we get. And it all goes towards salary for our preschool teacher.
And we just need a motion to approve this,
I
correct?
just need a motion for you to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second motion to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion's carried, and I want to make it a point to share with the public. This is one of the things that our school has to do every single year, along with a lot of the documents Ms. Radford brings to us. And one of the reasons, I know Mr. Mead shared reporting, that Ms. Tate does, but also somebody has to create a lot of documentation. And there's a lot of, that's not getting any less for the school system.
No.
And people need to know that.
No.
Vector Solutions.
All right, that's the second thing for me, and I think that was on board docs. I did not make copies of that one. But this is,
I think we have, is it this right here?
We've got it.
oh,
We've got
you
it.
do have it.
Yep.
Yes. Lenore did that, didn't she? Thank you. This is the quote for us to use Vector Solutions next year. This is Title II funds that we'll be using to pay for this, which is professional development for teachers and staff. So it breaks it down there for you, the different libraries that we're going to be purchasing. I do have a printout, and if you want one, I'll be happy to make you copies. But this is the individual libraries, all of the different courses that are going to be offered. So I just need this purchase approved for next year.
I'll make a motion to approve the Vector Solutions purchase.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. Sorry.
Anyone not approve? All right, motion's carried.
All right, thank you.
Next items we have are a couple of school board policies that need to be updated. I know some folks probably don't want me to read them, but I'm still gonna read them because.
Oh, come on.
Come on.
That one, that folks is me.
Basically, over these three, there's some verbiage that is changed, and I think it brings it up to date, if I could say it really easily to you. The first one is VSBA policy CH, policy implementation, development of regulations. The school board authorizes the superintendent to create and update regulations necessary to carry out the policies adopted by the board. If board action is required by law, or the board asks certain regulations or types of regulations be approved by the board, the superintendent will present those regulations to the board for action. The superintendent makes all regulations available to the school board members, employees, and public, and sees that the regulations are placed in the school board policy manual or kept with the policy manual. Dissemination of policies and regulations. Administrators and supervisors are responsible for informing staff members of all newly adopted or revised policies and regulations. I see no reason not to adopt this change.
No, and the only thing they did was like, 2 places they had shall make, they changed it to makes, and then
Yeah.
and then promulgate, they changed to create and update. That's all it changes. So it's just wording. I'll make a motion to approve the policy implementation for CH.
I'll second that motion for policy CH.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. Now looking at policy CF, which is school building administration. The Blaine County School Board, upon recommendation of the superintendent, employs principals and assistant principals who hold licenses as prescribed by the Board of Education. A principal provides instructional leadership in, is responsible for the administration of, and supervises the operation and management of the school or schools and property to which the principal has been assigned. In accordance with policies of the school board and under the supervision of the superintendent, a principal may submit recommendations to the superintendent for the appointment, assignment, promotion, transfer, and dismissal of all personnel assigned to the principal's supervision. And basically in this, this policy was dated because it had he in there in a place where I read the principal, or his. And it also replaces rules and regulations with policies. So basically an update.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the CF, the VSBA CF policy.
Make a motion to second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. Last policy we have on the docket tonight is file number CHD, but also BFE. Is that, do we all already have BFE? It's down below. Okay. Administration in policy absence. In cases where action must be taken by the school division and the school board has provided no guidelines for administrative action, the superintendent has the power to act. But the superintendent's decisions are subject to review by the school board at its next regular meeting. It is the duty of the superintendent to inform the school board promptly of such action and of the need for this, for policy. Basically, replace shall have with has, and shall be subject to subject, and replaced shall be with is. So that's the update to this policy. I see no reason not to go forward.
I'll make a motion to approve VSBA policy CHD.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion's carried. Next thing we have is, I guess, discuss a budget meeting. As some may have realized, we were supposed to have a public hearing tonight, but we don't have a budget because the state numbers haven't come out. So therefore, we need to reschedule really our public hearing, which is the next item. But do we need to have another budget meeting before that?
Yeah.
I think all we need to do is have the public hearing after we get the numbers from the state.
Yeah.
And I
Right
think we
now,
need to
we're
wait
in-
until we get the numbers.
we're just-
Any idea when?
I mean, I talked to supervisor this evening, and they said they've talked to senators, they've talked to delegates. nobody knows when the state budget's gonna be passed. So, you know, we're just kinda waiting in the wind here. I think it'd be good for us all to call, Senator Hackworth and Delegate Morefield and let them know that this puts us in a bit of a hardship here. Because there's other things that's riding on that budget that we need to go ahead and firm up and close out. So with that, I'm gonna say we probably don't need another budget meeting. I think, the budget is pretty much where it's at, but, that's always, we can always add and take away
Right.
and so forth until we get numbers.
I think we can table I and J until we get some information, so.
Well, I was gonna bring this up. Maybe we go ahead and say we're gonna have a public hearing at the next school board meeting, so in
Okay.
case we do get the numbers,
That'll
we
be
can
good.
go ahead and do that, because, Lenore brought up to me that we, can you share with me, share with the public what you shared with me earlier about, the dates?
It has to be, I think the budget is due May 15th or within 30 days after the state budget comes out. And you have to have your public hearing
Before.
7 days before approving your budget.
Okay.
And we
So-
have to give the public 2 weeks' notice to come to the public hearing.
So, the other thing is, so even if we have a public hearing on say, the next regular meeting, we would have to wait another week before we actually approve the budget.
Right.
So,
So-
I don't see no reason why we don't go ahead and schedule it, and if we aren't able to have it because of not having a budget, then we'll just nix it off the calendar.
So I'll just go ahead and make a motion for a public meeting,
Hearing.
for the hearing for the budget on, May the 12th at 4:30. Is that good enough? Is that what was?
I think last time.
Oh, 6 o'clock in the,
So you
after,
can, the public has time to come.
oh, okay, yeah, that'll be fine then, yeah.
What was that date again?
May 12th.
May 12th.
May
Now, the
12th?
May 12th, that's our regular meeting, is that
Yeah,
what we're?
May
doing?
12th,
Okay,
yeah.
so we'll have our regular meeting at 5, we'll adjourn for the public hearing.
Yeah, you'll recess and then.
Yeah, we'll just recess
Well,
and go to
right,
the public
recess,
hearing.
right,
Yeah.
okay, my fault, yeah,
And
okay,
we're just gonna say 6 PM?
yeah,
Okay. And that's your motion?
Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, that takes care of those last two, items there. Motion to, enter closed meeting.
Motion to go, I see, we need to make a motion first and then I read it, right? Or do we make the motion?
We have, I think, one more.
Oh, that's later on.
No, that's later.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, right there.
So, motion to go in closed meeting pursuant to exemption of section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia for the following purposes: to consider personnel recommendations and to discuss employee retirements.
Is there a second?
I'll second his motion.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Let me do a
Motion's carried. We're gonna enter into closed meeting.
10-minute recess. maybe?
We'll, reconvene at, you wanna just say 6:30?
Yep.
Is that good for everybody?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for coming.
you all.
Appreciate you all.